Today we're sitting in our rent-to-rent property where we managed to secure this deal with no money down.
And we're going to show you guys exactly how we did it. So what is rent to service accommodation? I've just got the Google dictionary up, and just to explain it simply, service accommodation is where you rent out a property for a very short term period. It is a bit like a hotel room. People who stay there are people who are maybe on a business trip in the local area. They don't particularly want to stay in a hotel for days and days on end. And that simply explains exactly what we're doing in this property and the reason and the purpose of it.
In this unit right now, we turn around £3,000 per month, with the profit being around £850 to £950 pure profit. So the types of people that stay in this property are usually contractors. So around this area, there are many construction sites. Now, what me and Uzma did when we were looking for people to stay in this property to make some money was that we went to these construction sites, we handed out some leaflets, and we gave our number out, our business number out, and we said to them that we have a Airbnb/booking.com unit which you guys could potentially stay in. I know you guys have come from another city and you're here, you're relocating here to work. Why stay in this cramped hotel room when you can stay in this massive property? And we also provide them pictures of how the property looks. As you can tell, it's very stylish, very nice, very aesthetic, unique. So it did catch their attention, and that's how we secured contractors staying in this unit.
And this is a screenshot of the booking that we received. It was a 3-month booking from, I think it was around September to the end of January, so it might be a little bit more. And they were lovely guests, they loved staying in this property, and they took very good care of it. The way that we got this property without using any of our own money is we have been documenting our whole journey, and I think up to this property we had about 5 to 6 properties already in our name. We've been documenting the whole journey, and we actually once put on our social media that we were looking for investors.
So why would an investor want to invest in us rather than just keeping their money safe in the bank? Well, let's say an investor has a lot of money saved in the bank. Their money is losing value every year.
Inflation has never been so high. We've seen inflation rates skyrocket this year.
So the fact that inflation has been at 10% and someone has a lot of money saved, safe in the bank, it's losing money day by day.
And what the banks actually do is they take that money that you've put in, they then invest it and they make money. Whereas when you come back after you put the money in the bank, you know, let's say a year later, you think that the £12,000 that you initially put in is still there, right? It's there, but you don't realise the value of that money has actually depreciated. And this is the same statement that we made online when we found our investor, and it caught a lot of attention, some good and some bad.
So what we did instead is that we said to the investor, we can offer you a 16% return within 8 months.
Now, we were looking for someone random, possibly someone that, you know, has been investing in property for a very long time. But instead, we came across a lovely family friend who really respected the work that we had been doing for a very long time. We were in communication back and forth. I think the next day, he actually came to our apartment. We got the document signed, and it was as simple as that. He transferred the money over. Now, I know it might seem like
got lucky there, or what are the odds of someone giving you £12,000?
By the way, it was £12,000 that he gave to us. What are the likelihoods of that? It's not very often. However, if you are showing the journey, your hard work, perseverance that you guys have, then someone out there will be watching you and will be willing to put money into the project.
So guys, the main thing that Uzma is saying is that you never know who is watching you on social media. Even if you have 5 followers, they're still watching you every day. And that's if you're posting on social media. We didn't think anyone was watching us like that until Uzma's family friend messaged us and said, hey, I want to invest. And yeah, we took it seriously. We wanted to move forward with that. So we said to him, okay, let's meet up for dinner and let's talk about it.
Firstly, I did not respond to him straight away. Reason why is because you wouldn't think that a family member is going to be so serious, and also it gets very tricky, if I'm honest with you, when you start doing business with your friends or family. And it's quite ironic because we both are best friends and we both do business together. But I don't know how that's actually worked out. But it's not very often that you come across someone that is willing to do business with you. that's within your close circle. A lot of them have jealousy and don't support your visions, but this one individual has crazy, work ethic, and he's been very supportive since the very start. Lena was speaking to me and a bit adamant, saying, why not? Why don't you take that chance? And I literally handed the whole thing over to her. I was like, Lena, listen, if you think that he would be right for this, then you go ahead and talk about it, because I just felt a little bit uncomfortable talking business with someone that was just so close. Lena was the one to convince the investor.
Here's how the process went with talking to the investor, and here's how we recommend you guys to do the same thing. So like I said, you don't know who's watching you, and they might message you and they might ask you things. People are curious in what you're doing every day. People are nosy. That's natural human nature. So when you post something, they will ask, hey, what are you doing? So that's your time to pitch yourself. But that's not the time you start to sell straight away. Don't sell something. Just explain what you're doing. Explain your story. Everyone has their own story. So that's when you say, so I'm currently starting my property business. That's exactly what me and Uzma did. We said we're starting our property business. We rent a property from a landlord, and then we rent it out again on a nightly basis, and then we make a profit from that at all costs. So the next process after that, when you start to speak to the investor about that, is you want to let them watch you more online. And eventually, our investor, they didn't reach out to us. Like Uzma said, I was adamant on it to move forward with Uzma's family friend. So what we did is that we took him to one of our properties and we showed him around it, and we said, this property is going to generate this amount of money. We want to furnish it to this standard, so he could see the vision creating. And if you guys don't have a unit yet, you can even just create like a slides PowerPoint of your plan and your mission. It's very important to do that. It's like having a business plan. When you go to the bank, you want to get a loan off the bank, you have to present them with a pure business plan and how you're not going to lose the money, how you're going to generate the money. Because why would a bank ever want to loan money to you? So we did the exact same thing with a potential investor. You could also get some help with ChatGPT and using AI, artificial intelligence, and to create the slides of how to present your business plan to the investor.
So the way we saw it is, it was a big opportunity for us to be able to scale our rent-to-rent business without having to put all the money in from our own pockets. What we did is we created an Excel sheet, and this is something that you guys might also want to do. We created an Excel sheet breaking down exactly how we were going to get his return on investment back within 8 months. Now, most property investors might think this is crazy. The average length size of contracts where property investors and the actual investor might agree on, the duration usually lasts around 12 months, 24 months. I think it's quite personal, but 8 months is a very short period of time for someone to get their investment back. However, the thing about me and Lena is that we were very confident. We knew exactly what was going to happen with that money, and we made sure the investor also knew that although it might be 8 months and it seems like it's going to come back really quick, we definitely mean it. So we took £12,000, and the reason why is because it would help us furnish 3 units if we did it to a budget, and that's exactly what we did. The cost of each property was roughly £4,000 each, and we took 3 property deals on, all roughly in the same month. After we got the properties furnished and decorated, we signed all the agreements, of course, as well. Everything was done. The first 2 months, he then landed his first payment of £2,000 after the first 2 months since we received the money. So then the remaining 6 months of that period of the full 8 months is when we started consecutively paying the money and the funds back out to him. We actually set up a direct debit on the same day every single month to make sure that he never misses a payment and that he was able to build that trust over time, and then potentially in the future be able to invest in some bigger deals like buy, refurbish, refinance, and then rent. So this individual with a hidden identity, you guys are probably painting a picture about him right now. Maybe you're thinking he's a 30 or 40-year-old man. Well, no, that's wrong. He was actually 20 years old and he was studying at university, and he invested. He was our investor. And instead of wasting his money himself and being the consumer, he was actually the one that was making the money on the other side. He was the one that was making the profits from this, and then saving it, as well as saving his university student loans as well. And he put it aside because he wanted to make sure that he's also going to be able to put his money towards some good investments for the future to set him up for success.
So this month is a very special month because this month was the month where we got to pay him his full investment back, plus a whopping £2,000 on top of the investment. This means that it was completely passive for him, and that's exactly what he was looking for. So it's a win-win situation for the investor and us, because the investor got passive income, whereas we got free, no money down deals. And here's the lovely message which the investor gave a few days back. So guys, if you're looking to do something similar which we did, so you're trying to get into property with little to no money down, what we recommend to you to do is document your journey everywhere. Tell everyone what you're looking to do. Tell them about your plans, but make sure you are putting some action to it. And trust me guys, people are watching you. If you just stick to the process, someone will eventually come to you and offer an investment to you.
And if there's some terms and conditions that you and the investor can agree to, then it definitely can work.